back, a little bit, and then looking up to the sun.
Back.
Have you got like a little pocket there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's chilled. I like it. That's cool. And then looking over here, just a little bit. That's good. And then right at the camera, looking smooth with the glasses.
They're not even mine.
Are they not?
I just found them in the car.
Can you just give us a little explanation of where we are at the moment?
So we're at Bouley Bay. It's the main dive site actually in Jersey. So here there's Lille. So we dive around Lille. It's kind of more like rock formations and crevices and things like that.
Yeah.
And then over here near the slipway, that's the main dive site that we use. And along the bay here, there's a reef that runs across the bay. It's where one of the snorkel trails are in Jersey as well, that Blue Marine have placed. So we've got one here and one at Portlet.
You've been based down here?
So me personally, I've been running the dive shop for, I think this is my 14th season.
Okay.
But the dive shop itself has been here for over 70 years. So
how many?
It's over 70.
70 years?
So it's the oldest dive shop in Europe apparently. So yeah, pretty cool.
No way, I didn't know that. When was scuba diving?
I mean, Jack Cousteau was probably the one that, like, you know, brought it to light and everything like that. So there's all these crazy videos of him online. I probably would recommend not looking at them for ocean culture.
I know,
quite questionable.
I have seen some of those videos though, yeah.
But in Jersey, it was here actually, and it was a guy called Jimmy Webster.
Right.
And he was a famous ice skater. He brought it to Jersey.
Famous ice skater brings scuba diving to Jersey.
Crazy.
I love it.
Yeah.
But then how did you first get involved with that? What were you doing before this?
So at school, basically when I was at school, I literally couldn't wait to leave. Doing my A-levels, I was like, I can't wait to go travelling. So I just always wanted to be at the beach. And then I started planning my travelling, and it was always based around, what I'm going to do in the sea. So surfing, diving, so all the countries that I planned was based around that. And then I went travelling when I finished my A-levels, did a lot of dives around the world, and then decided that I wanted to teach people to dive. So I travelled basically for about 9 years, which is really cool. Yeah,
oh, that's a long time.
Yeah. And then came back here, and obviously now I can facilitate other people to be able to do it.
So you brought up in Jersey then?
Yes.
You think kind of took you to spending your whole life in and around the ocean?
Yeah, so I think like even from a kid, I'd just spend all my summer holidays at the beach. I wouldn't do it now, but jumping off the piers, like pier jumping as you do.
You can still do it now. I mean, it's a beautiful day for it.
Yeah, and I'd probably be scared now. And swimming, just sitting on the beach, chilling with my friends, like everything was based around the beach. So, and if I wasn't at the beach, I was like bored or, lost. Just felt like I needed to be at the beach. And then even I remember at school, people planning going to uni or doing this, and I was just planning basically what surf trip I was doing next or what dive trip I was doing next, and then just really haven't stopped doing that. So
you were a surfer first and then you got into diving afterwards?
I was actually a diver first. I'll dive and then think, oh no, I need to get another activity, maybe one that's not in the sea when the weather isn't great, but then I always end up just doing something else in the sea. So it'd be surfing, then free diving. And
okay, yeah. And you learned to dive here?
I learnt to dive in Fiji actually. One of my travels, I thought, right, I'll try scuba diving because I love the sea. Everything else I do is in the sea. So did it in Fiji. I was actually terrified. I actually cried, of course. So and I remember them telling me to take my mask off, and I was like, no. So then I did that, and then actually it annoyed me that I wasn't good at it and that I wasn't comfortable doing it when I loved the sea. I didn't really understand why I wasn't amazing at it. So then I carried on trying to do it, and I loved it. And that's what made me want to be an instructor, because I found it so hard to learn to dive. I just really was so scared taking off my mask that I then wanted to teach other people, because I love scuba diving now, and obviously it enabled me to travel all around the world and see like most amazing things. But if I hadn't carried on doing it, and actually then doing my advanced here at Bouley Bay, I had a really patient instructor, which I think was needed for me, and she made me love it in the end. So I
think that's the art of being an instructor. Exactly, you've got to be pretty patient, don't you?
Yeah, definitely.
What's the thing that you love, that you get most out of being an instructor?
Now, I think, because I've been an instructor for a long time, seeing other people achieve what they want to, and especially people who think they're not going to be able to do it, or anything like that, I love watching them pass their course. And actually people always say to me, why, because I've just stopped at being an instructor, I don't really have the passion to become a course director or go down other routes. I've tried it, but cave diving or tech diving or things like that, I've tried these other routes, but for me teaching that beginner diver and seeing their face when they actually manage to take off their mask. And I always remember back to Fiji when I was just absolutely terrified, but also that sense of achievement at the end. And even just watching different things, the photographers in Jersey, how everything was facilitated at the dive shop, or people going on and on to run their own dive shops in other countries.
I guess that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest change, isn't it? Because I think a lot of people have a lot of fear when it comes to the ocean.
Definitely.
And taking the mask off is most people's biggest fear when it comes to scuba diving. So when you see people go through that and stepping through that fear, and then they have a whole new love for the ocean, that must feel really special for you to be able to give somebody that.
Yeah, definitely.
What's been the biggest fears that you've had to overcome? Business or personal life?
Oh God, definitely. I feel that from a business side, the weather is really hard to overcome, and we're constantly thinking of different ways to be able to get people in the water. So we're lucky that we're on an island. We can go to different bays and stuff like that with different wind directions and swell, but that is constantly, you're constantly battling the weather to be able to get people into the water. Personal life, oh God, where do we start?
Go on.
No, I'm just kidding. I suppose from running the business and stuff like that, because it is a lot of hours that we put into the dive shop, there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes and everything.
Yeah.
For the first, I'm kind of coming out of that now, but for the first few years, I suppose I was full on working with the business. So my fun sort of personal life, and actually my personal diving and things like that, free time was obviously quite limited, but that's coming back now. I'm starting to do a few more dives for me again, and getting back into the ocean rather than just teaching. Yeah, because that's important. I think I need to keep my passion for it to be able to give that to other people.
It's important to keep your passion. Tell us what else you do.
Paddleboarding, snorkelling, working with the schools, the activities weeks for kids and stuff like that. Scuba, we do boat trips as well. Okay, diving out to all the wrecks and everything. So there's a big mix. So that's definitely a challenge, trying to run the business as a whole and keep everything safe, professional, fun, and keep all that going.
What are the parts that you don't love about that?
I don't know, because sometimes I'll say things like, I'm done, I'm never doing this again, the weather's horrendous, blah, 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 but I always come back to it. And actually I thrive on being busy and being under pressure. So I generally do like most of it. Because it's my business, I do have to do the boring side of things as well. So the risk assessments, the accounts and stuff like that. So there's a lot of office-based stuff as well. And sometimes I will see the instructors going out thinking, I wish I could swap roles, get them into the office doing the accounts, and then me taking the people on the snorkel trail. But I do still like to teach people myself, because otherwise, again, your passion's lost. And probably the accounts.
Definitely the accounts. All that boring stuff that no one ever sees. They just they see out of
and
water,
they're like, Toyah, what are you doing? You haven't dived today. Oh, you must have had a day off. No, I've been doing the accounts, and miraculously everyone's turned up here. The rescue divers, the staff, it's perfect tides, and that's me.
Sun's come out. I can get a picture.
Definitely got a long way.
Nice.
I might take my horrible dirty jacket off.
Oh, you can do, whatever makes you feel comfortable. Can you just a little bit further back, a little bit, and then looking up to the sun. You can keep the sunglasses up. More over to the light over there. Maybe not so far. Come back a bit.
So far up or back?
Have you got like a little pocket there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's chill. I like it. That's cool. And then looking over here, just a little bit. That's good. And then right at the camera, looking smooth with the glasses.
They're not even mine.
Are they not?
I just found them in the car. I think they're like a customer's.
Again, looking up at the light, looking up at the sun. Where
is
in the direction of the sun, okay. And then back here, that's cool. Love it. What would you say to anyone looking to get a career in the ocean space?
Save a lot of money first, because you're not going to get paid a lot, but you will live the dream, definitely. And you'll get to see loads of cool stuff, and you get to see other people achieve so much as well. Yeah,
that's good. If you're ever having a stressful day or a bad day, what's the first thing you do?
Go into the sea. Even if I've had a dive where I think, oh God, that was really hard, I'll go for a surf or something like that, or just jump in the sea and go for a swim.
Yeah. Do you sea swim?
I actually hate the cold, and I get really, really cold. And then I think it was 2 years ago now, maybe last year, me and Adam started sea swimming. We did like 30 days. We did not 30 days, but just solidly for a month. And I actually really liked it.
Okay, cool.
This year I haven't, because I went to Morocco and India, and I'm a little bit afraid to go in there with a swimsuit at the moment. But yeah, I do definitely agree with the people that say it's amazing for you to sea swim. Quite challenging in a swimsuit. Yeah. Do you?
Sometimes, but I spend too much time in hot places, and I find the idea of jumping in. I end up going in January in the coldest times. I'll go in like once or twice, but I don't do it regularly.
And then, when it's the big temperature difference, it's hard. It
is hard, but then just being down at the ocean, I spend most of my time down at St. Wan's, and just even just rocking up and sitting down in my van down there with the windows closed, with the sun beaming in, and it's nice and warm.
Yeah.
It's just it just makes you feel good, doesn't it?
No, it does, definitely.
That's what brings everyone back here as well.
Yeah, but that's the thing, even here, we're going to have a better view of it from there, but just watching what people do, like everything's so different, but they're all in this same sense of community. Like the swimmers, the paddlers, then you've got the free divers going in there, the fishermen are launching, the sightseeing is launching. Yeah, it's just really nice.
Yeah, nice little community down here.
Yeah.
The fishermen are the same boys that have been down here for a long time?
Yes.
Are they?
Yeah. So just like a little rod fishing on the pier and stuff like that.
Okay.
But I mean, there is still the fishermen that go past, but you actually can't fish. I don't think you can pot in here anymore. So the actual like industrial fishermen will be out to sea, or like Bob, who just came down to get the airfills. He's a scallop diver. So
you cold? Do you want
I am freezing. Thank you. He's a scallop diver. He just came down to get his airfills.
Okay, I might just try and get a few shots of it.
Yeah.
What are the fishermen saying about the kind of fishing in Jersey these days?
So I don't really have a lot to do with the fishermen as such, mainly the scallop divers, because they come and get air and they do love a chat. So they'll say, obviously, they talk about their hand dive scallops and things like that. I haven't really heard much about, what the conditions of the scallop beds are in and things like that.
Okay.
But I mean, I feel like with the fishermen,
I might go and stand on one of these rocks.
I mean, I don't eat fish that's trawled or not hand dived, but I do feel in Jersey there's a lot of people that can collaborate together to kind of help educate and also educate the fishermen, because I feel that although, I mean, I don't like the fishing industry at all, I don't eat fish, but I feel like sometimes we can go maybe a different way to try and educate them or help them in some other way to do a different fishing technique. We always fund things like snorkel trails, which is great, but also I feel like it might be nice to fund that side of it, but like a different side of teaching them how to fish in a different way, for example. Yeah,
I feel that fishermen feel they're being kind of attacked and they're not heard, because they're spending all their time out at sea, and then they hear these new policy changes come in, and it's the same everywhere you go in the world. It's always the same thing. They feel they're not being listened to, and they feel like they're being attacked and they're going to lose their livelihoods at this present time. It's like, fine, thinking 10 years out, but I've got to feed my family now.
Actually, I mean, I don't eat the fish, so I'm not, supporting it in that way, actually. But I do actually think that, there is some other way that people can collaborate with them and try and fund that. And, everything we do, like beach cleanup, snorkel trails, all of that I think is brilliant. But I do think as well, there is that area that might be missed in funding their new equipment or their training with the new equipment and saying, this is how you can fish. Because I totally get that point, that's their livelihood. They don't really know anything else. It's the same as me. If someone said, you can't dive anymore, I wouldn't know what to do. And I think that's the same with them.
I guess it's like, I think, once it's explained properly and once it's shown what's happening in these other areas and how protecting a certain area, then the fish stocks come back and the numbers grow very quickly. But I don't even think that message is getting to them properly.
No.
And a lot of the time it's just because I don't know, I know that, Blue Marine come into places and they have conversations with people and you can see the work they've done really, really works. Yeah. But then I've also been in a room where, there's been a conversation going on between Blue Marine and the fishermen, but no one really knows anything about what they were doing. When they were coming in, it's like I just don't think the message is necessarily getting to everybody.
Yeah.
And that's no one's fault, apart from sure emails go out, I'm sure it goes out on social media, I'm sure it goes into the main kind of channels and everything, and I'm sure it should be, you know, there's a way for it to get there, but it's just not reaching everybody. And then
and that's the thing in Jersey. I think we've got so many different people that use the sea in different ways. That it's all about collaborating together to get that message across in different ways, because everybody's got a different skill. You know, somebody might be doing, like, say, the snorkel trails, being able to facilitate those. Some people may be able to speak to a different industry in a different way, and I think that's important to get it across.
Yeah, it's definitely good to like work together as that kind of ocean community. The change, I mean, there was a really big change that happened in 2020 when everyone started coming to the sea and they were using the ocean as therapy, and they were spending, you know, a lot more. Even I learned how to scuba dive in 2020.
Yeah, you did.
I had time. I was like, wow, I've got time. I can get in the water. Do you feel, is that carried on, or do you feel it's kind of dropped off a little bit?
From a business point of view, I would say it appears to, maybe to other industries as well, that it has dropped off. But I think that might be because in 2020, people couldn't dive. For example, they couldn't paddleboard, they couldn't sea swim, so they were going to all these places to learn. And now I feel like it has continued, but people are doing it independently. So they don't need to learn to paddleboard because they already do. So I do feel that it has continued. Definitely here, when you come down, it never used to be this busy with people swimming and stuff like that. So yeah, for sure.
That's a really good thing. It's just being in nature, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And I do think it's carried on. I mean, the swimming community down here is massive. Yeah.
The ocean, for somebody coming into Jersey that wasn't necessarily brought up in Jersey, is such a daunting place. It's, you know, it's an unknown place. People get in trouble a lot. But what's the kind of advice that you can give to anyone who wants to just step in the ocean, have a better understanding? What's the best advice you could give? Definitely
to go to, so whatever they're interested in, whether it be scuba, snorkeling, kayaking or paddleboarding, to join or just even go to one of those facilities that are facilitating it, to ask advice or you know, do a course or something like that. Even people who are coming over, actually we have some paddleboarders come over who have been they've actually got their own paddle school, but they still come to us to ask about the tides and the conditions, because obviously everywhere you go is different. So definitely get involved, you know, in contact with locals. And there's so many groups on Facebook and Instagram and things like that that they can join and, you know, check out what's going on.
It's so important, isn't it? Because, I mean, yeah, Jersey's got the third biggest tidal movement in the world. And
I think actually scary, a lot of people are oblivious to that. We did a tidal workshop actually, and wind workshop for sports, water sport users during COVID, because we could see so many people heading out here. And you even see it now. I mean, I'm going to be able to see it a little bit more when I'm in that building, but people come down in you know, 4 to 9 and stuff. And it's very well, you know, they can get in and it's freezing and it's 4 to 9 and they've still got this enthusiasm, but it's also not necessarily safe sometimes.
Yeah.
So yeah, just having that understanding of the tides.
Again, it's just chatting with the local community.
Yeah, exactly.
Asking questions.
And that's the thing, people in Jersey, they do know a lot about the sea. There's so many people that have grown up here doing water sports and things like that. There's so many knowledgeable people, even if they don't want to necessarily go in the sea with a group, they can do workshops on tides, navigational courses and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they can do all that here as well with you?
Yeah, so we do like the tidal workshops and things like that, teaching them about, and all my paddleboarding courses are based on, wind direction, which is the safest way to go. Basically making people independent so they don't have to constantly keep coming back for classes, but making sure that when they're doing it, they are safe.
Yeah, that's really important, isn't it? Because you see people on paddleboards.
We've seen horrific things.
It's like, I'll just get a paddleboard and start paddling, and then you just see them just like disappearing out to sea with an offshore wind. It's like, you shouldn't be there.
Fully clothed, or worse, when it's like a temperature like this, fair play, but just in like bikinis and stuff like that. And where's your safety stuff? And don't go this way, go that way, for example, depending on the wind direction.
We're so small in the ocean, but we really have to understand what you're doing.
Definitely. You do speak to some people about the weather and you're like, I don't even know what you're saying. I don't know, what does this even mean? But that's another important thing. I think it's educating people, but in a way that's accessible. You're not using these big technical terms and like, I'd be bored, showing them with these big graphs and things like that. There isn't much they need to know. It's very, very basic, but they need to know it. And just trying to make that simple, accessible and easy for everybody to use.
How can people reach out to you?
So obviously we've already established my social media is not great, but it is there. So they can like contact on Facebook and Instagram, and I can message back. And we've got a website as well, so they can book everything online. And we also really like to do things, say if it's not online, we'll always accommodate people. So if somebody has a special interest in something and it's not there, we can always do workshops on stuff. So and that's another thing we did in COVID. We'd actually observe what was going on. So crazy people going with clothes, and we'd say, right, okay, we need to do like a wind workshop, or we need to do this. So yeah, there's a lot of experience down here from different, I've worked all around the world, seen loads of different dive shops run, and again, all my sports are in the water. So I can I try to teach in a way that's going to be accessible to every sport, water sport.
What's the craziest thing you've ever seen in one of your dive shops around the world?
Loads of different things. Like, so the most horrific thing, I suppose, was a tour guide, in Dubai when I worked there. He was bringing all these people to come and do tri dives and stuff with me. So he was like the person who was like facilitating it and everything, and you're talking about the ocean. And I took him for the dive once, so he knew what he was selling. And I remember literally having this fight with him underwater with a starfish, but he wanted to take home for his daughter.
Oh my God.
And I was like, you can't. You're the tour guide. Like this can't happen. So that was kind of like the most aggressive I've been underwater, I suppose. God, what else? Being scared, I remember, just my open water course, I was scared. I remember them trying to, in Fiji, get me to take off my mask, and there was like sharks swimming around me, and I just thought, this is like literally sensory overload here. Like, there's all these sharks, I've never seen these sharks before, and now they're telling me to take my mask off. This is just too much. But I mean, after that, sharks, and people ask me this all the time about sharks being scary, but I always say, no, when you actually see it, you almost have this sense of peace. It wasn't actually the shark that probably scared me, it was the mask removal. But yeah, you just get this kind of sense of like peace, I think. But yeah, I mean, I remember traveling as well, thinking I'd always have this geeky little notebook and write notes in it about what I would and wouldn't do if I had a dive shop, because I always wanted a dive shop.
Oh, nice.
So I'd make notes about what was good and bad. So I'd probably have to check through that and see what horrific things I'd seen. But I remember there was a big list of like, this will not happen in my dive shop, this will not happen, and stuff like that.
Any kind of really beautiful moments that stand out for you that you've had in the ocean?
Like people always say, what's your favourite place to dive? But it's all different. So Galapagos definitely stands out to me. One, because I literally couldn't afford to go there, so I had to work so hard to be able to afford on my credit card, and then pay it off after. And I remember just seeing, like, the hammerhead shark is one of my favourite marine creatures, and I remember just seeing those scalloped hammerheads circling around me, and that I will never forget. And whale sharks, seeing those as well was awesome, especially diving. I'd seen them a lot when I was snorkeling, but actually seeing them when I didn't expect to see them on a scuba dive was also really cool.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And actually, and I'm not just saying it because my dive shop's here, but also the seahorses I saw here. I've seen the odd seahorse here and there, but 2 years ago there was so many seahorses in here that I was even showing people them on my paddleboarding tours, and that is it's amazing. And I don't know why they were here. They were all kind of mid-water and on the surface, but that was also really, really cool to see it, because it's home, and I've been going into these oceans like my whole life, and to see that kind of thing, because the seahorse and the hammerhead are my favourite. So to be able to see them here was really, really nice.
That's amazing. I never knew they were here.
And they didn't come back last year. They were on the pieces of weed that are here. They were all hanging off of those kind of weeds just in this area. And I remember taking people all the way over to towards White Rock, and we were just stopping the whole time. Like, there's one, there's one, there's one, there's one, there's one. And I just thought, I didn't ever think that even doing paddleboard tours, people would be, seeing 15 seahorses. And
that's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, seahorses is a sign for a clean ocean, right?
Yeah, I mean, and it was, it is. We are good here with our beach cleans and stuff, not in just Bouley Bay. I mean, as a whole on the island, it's definitely a good sign.
That's a good sign.
Yeah, and I don't know why they came. I did ask a few of the departments in Jersey as to why, and we don't know why they came that year, because I hadn't seen them before. I mean, that year actually that the seahorses came was definitely the best year we've had business-wise, with the conditions. So with the visibility, the marine life that was in there. And this is the thing people don't realise when you look here, what's it just in there,
Well, I remember on the night dive that we had just here, just on this rock, just here, when you're, it's like a full drop off, and there was thousands of spider crabs.
Yes.
Thousands of them. The whole ground was just moving.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this is crazy. Like I never knew there were so many spider crabs, and then there was so many lobsters as well that all came out.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is wild. I never knew you'd see all that stuff over in Jersey.
And that's the lovely thing actually about Jersey as well. So when I've worked in other places, the seasons don't tend to change as much. So, and again, it's nice, but I would always know where the moray eel lived or where, you know, certain creatures lived. And that was lovely, especially for tourists. You knew where to show people things. But here, the seasons change and then the marine life changes. So the crabs, they'll come at the same time usually, or roughly the same time each year. And then the water will start to warm up and we'll get the other things like the jellyfish, and then which some people obviously don't like, but then the seahorses and things like that. And the jellies will bring other marine life in as well. So it's quite nice to see that change.
Oh.
Yeah.
So what feed on jellies then?
What eat the jellies? I know the sunfish do, the mulla mulla.
Do you get sunfish here?
Yes.
You do not?
Yeah.
No way.
So actually that's the one thing I'm still yet to see underwater, which is crazy because obviously we get them here. But I remember 2 people I was training to be dive masters, and I was writing on the slate their scores and they were pointing, but obviously I couldn't see because I was writing the slate and a mulla mulla just went straight past me, and I still haven't seen it. And that was in the bay. The boat drivers tend to see them a little bit more than the divers because they're flapping on the surface. But yeah, if you go out on the boat, you'll see them. You can see their fin at the top and they're kind of splashing around.
Wow.
So yeah, and they tend to come in with the jellyfish because they'll eat them.
Okay.
With the warmer water.
What else do you see when you go diving just off the coast of Jersey?
So just in here, we've got the rays. There's a lot of undulate rays, black rays, blonde rays, and then bass and everything are in here as well. Seahorses when they come. And then out on the reefs and stuff like that, we've got the dogfish or cat shark, again, bass, dragonets, nudibranchs. So people travel around the world to see different types of nudibranchs. And there's like thousands and thousands of them. Grace, one of our instructors, she loves doing the nudibranchs.
Her pictures are in the book that we've got coming out.
Yeah. So her thing is the nudibranchs. I'm not a great photographer, but I'm definitely a good spotter. So I tend to spot these things for people to take the photos, and then they're left to take the photos.
Yeah, that's good if you can spot them. I never spot nudies. I've got no idea what I'm looking for.
Yeah, no, there is absolutely loads in here. Yeah,
is there? That's cool to know.
Yeah.
And then there are shipwrecks?
Yeah, loads of shipwrecks. So the shipwrecks, people, again, would travel around the world just to see wrecks because obviously they like the history of them and things like that. I do prefer the marine life, but on a wreck as well, it is this artificial reef. So it will create a home for different marine life. So that is a place here where you can find a lot of nudibranchs actually. Pollock, bass, lobsters find the wrecks a home, crabs, all sorts of stuff. So yeah, it brings a lot of people over actually, because again, people don't realise how diverse the diving environment is here with the reefs and the wrecks and stuff.
Well, I don't think most people in Jersey know that.
No, and it's hard, and that's what we really like to do. I always had a dream to have a dive shop, but also diving can be restrictive as well for various different reasons, and I always wanted to dream to be able to show anyone, whatever their ability or passion, what is under there, so they can experience what I've experienced. In
June, you're going to have a clean-up? Underwater?
Yeah, so again, like to facilitate everybody. So we're doing a land clean, obviously with you guys, with Ocean Culture, snorkelling, paddling, and scuba as well. Yeah,
cool.
So excited.
What are we going to find?
Hopefully nothing, but hopefully it's really, really clean. But the thing that does tend to be down here actually is a lot of fishing line. So I know that sometimes this can't be helped, but a lot of small microplastics, fishing line and hooks. So that is the thing that we're probably looking for the most. So, and again, people would expect, you can come down the beach and say, actually, this is pristine, there's nothing here, because people down here do tend to be good. They take their rubbish with them, but it is the small things that they don't realise they've dropped, or again, the fishing line and stuff like that, or things that are falling, blowing off the boats. There's always something to clean, definitely. Yeah,
I think there's always something, but I think we're also pretty lucky in terms, you've travelled the world, you've seen what it's like in other parts of the world. And, Jersey is we have clean beaches here.
Yeah.
I always say that, I always think the most important thing about what we can do in Jersey is just getting people to the ocean. When we have World Oceans Week and just seeing the smile on their faces, and when they get near the ocean, and how, you grew up in the ocean, you know what it makes you feel like.
Yeah.
And I think that's the most important thing that we can push in Jersey, is really getting people to the ocean and making sure that they're safe when they're in the ocean, and getting kids that maybe don't have the privilege to get in there.
Definitely.
Is there something you do where you're able to facilitate these things with the government, or?
Yeah, some people haven't even been in the sea before. You know, we live in an island and they haven't been to the beach. We do another school group actually in the summer holidays. Again, same comments. I've never been in the sea before and things like that. And the look upon their face when they see even just like a wrasse, a small wrasse or a pollock in the water is just amazing. And I think it's really important to be able to offer that. It's completely different being on a computer screen, obviously looking at manta rays swimming around you and fish swimming all around you, than actually experiencing it and being there. And you're right, we're definitely going down that route too much of being online and not actually experiencing it for experiencing nature.
Is there something more that local governments or schools could do to be able to get more kids in the water, do you think?
Yeah, I definitely think they should. I have to be careful what I say now. I feel like a lot of money in Jersey is spent on stuff that maybe could be spent somewhere else, but obviously that's like for another day.
Well, yeah, you don't have to be, I don't know, you don't necessarily have to be careful. I think it's just allowing people to understand that there isn't any money being spent on this.
On that, yeah.
You know, is it government, or can we get more funding from like corporate
private funding? Yeah, I definitely think that it's important, especially when you hear people who are say 12 or 13 saying that they've never been in the ocean before, and whether that is, and I've seen all reasons why, whether it's financial or things at home that don't facilitate them to be able to get into the ocean, whether they can't travel to the sea, all these different things. I think there's definitely something to be done in Jersey as a community to not have to hear a 13-year-old say they've never been in the sea before when they live on an island. And it's important that they go into the sea. Not only can it facilitate their mental health, because it's a sense of release, this moving meditation when you're in the water. It's a different activity for them to be able to do, that they're not on their computer screens or doing anything that's not a great activity to be getting involved with, and it can also lead to careers and things like that as well. So I think there's a benefit for the whole island, and again it's just seeing the bigger picture as to why the ocean is good for people. So yeah, for sure I think that they could fund those activities.
Okay, good. Yeah, we need to work on that.
We do.
Well, there's a whole book, isn't there, Blue Mind? There's a whole theory around what the ocean does for us.
Yeah.
And it really, you feel it, you know it.
Yeah, you do,
even just being here now and you look out to the ocean is good for you.
Yeah.
But actually getting in there is proven to calm and heal. So.
Yeah.
But I think Jersey, there are still kids that have never been in the sea. A lot of that comes from even their parents and where they were brought up. They're brought up with a fear of the ocean.
Yeah, exactly. And those fears get transferred onto...
Those fears get transferred. It's, it happens in the Maldives. Most fishermen don't even know how to swim. In the Bahamas, 90% of the people don't know how to swim and they're scared of the ocean. They'll never go to the ocean because there's been this fear that's been pushed down through the years of stories of people drowning or being eaten by sharks or fishermen sinking, and all these things have been passed down. And without the education to teach them ocean safety, nothing ever kind of moves forward.
Yeah.
And you think, that's not happening in Jersey. Everyone goes to the beach in Jersey, but again, it's not true, is it?
Yeah, it's definitely, from my experience of, and this is, years and years of teaching these groups and these children that are coming down, and it's not just a one-off, we think, oh my God, what do you mean you haven't been to the beach? This is reoccurring comments of people not being able to go to the beach, or haven't been able to for whatever reason. So it's definitely important. And like you say, you see it in other countries as well, and India as well is one example. I've just come back from there. And people just don't go in the sea because they have this massive fear for it. And I remember actually the lifeguard down there was just blowing the whistle anytime anyone even put their toes in the water, and it's like, what? Why are you not letting them swim? And it's just because even they're scared, because and again I think it comes down to like unawareness and just not being educated about it. And again, it can put you off if you're intimidated by learning all these graphs and this about the weather systems, but you don't need to know that. It's very, very simple. And it's just really important, I think, for everybody, however they want to get into the ocean, whether it is diving, snorkeling, swimming, dipping your toes in there, just to be able to get in there and just have this sense of release, which the ocean does give.
Yeah, definitely. And then then you're able to travel and be safe, and you're able to hang out with other ocean people and just be in this really beautiful community that stretches all around the world.
Yeah, definitely.
And we always end up going to islands as well, don't we?
Yeah,
we'll go to some island.
Yeah.
We'll go to some small island somewhere, an island chain, and you know, the kind of culture's very similar.
Yeah.
Wherever you are on an island.
Definitely.
Right, let's get a couple of pictures. It's nice and warm here now, isn't it?
It is actually.
I say that, my nose is dripping, but
yeah.
That's me just walking along here and kind of getting this whole view in there.
What, walk along there?
I like this. This is cool. This is your office, isn't it?
I'll try not to trip over the rocks. What
Can you go over the high rocks? But don't trip over them. No, I don't want you tripping.
So you want me to actually continue walking?
Yeah, go over the rocks.
I'm like the worst rock climber as well. I'm like this.
Come on, you must be good. You've been here for years.
Oh Christ.
Yeah, try and get on it. Try and get on that high rock behind you there.
This one? That one there?
Yeah, this one.
There's no chance. I can get on this one.
Yeah, that one's good. What did you think you were going to be doing when you were at school? What did you want to be when you were at school?
Actually, I remember reading my yearbook the other day, and it said something like, what are you going to be doing in 5 years? And it said, working on a beach somewhere. And then it said, what are you going to be doing in 10 years? And it was the same.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I'm okay now.
Cool.
It's like balancing on the edge.
I love it. More this way towards your, there. So it's always in you. You're always going to be working in the ocean then.
Yeah, definitely.
Looking at here. Looking over left, a little bit over there. Have you done a lot of these photo shoot things before? No. No? Never.
I hate it.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
You're doing really good. I love it.
I absolutely hate it.
You're doing...
That's what I say. Adam always laughs at me.
Who did?
Adam always laughs at me because if I ever have to do anything like this, I'm always like, is this live?
So where did...
And I say like the most stupid things, like if it's on the radio and stuff like that, and if it's photos, literally, I've got no photos of myself.
Okay, turn around, face me here.
You're like, oh, sorry, Toyah, I put the wrong bit on.
Yeah. Let's have a little walk over. You can take your hands out of your pocket. I don't want you to like...
Yeah, everyone always comes in, they're saying, oh, your husband and your wife, but I'd always correct them, but Adam doesn't.
We're going to walk over to that, walk onto that black rock. The black rock, they're all black. I love that.
I know, climbing's clearly not my...
No, you're better in the ocean.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, I love this.
Oh, it's so nice. Have you dived around here before?
No, I went for a swim here last year. There were loads of jellyfish. I was just throwing them at my friend. Gorgeous. Do you miss Jersey when you're away from it?
I do. I'm definitely a summer person, to be honest. I do enjoy the summers here a lot and the winters are long. I do miss it. I am excited when I come back.
Then when you get to the end of the season, you're ready to get off.
And then excited to leave.
Yeah.
I prefer warmer water.
Maybe just take a little seat just on here. Oh, that's nice, okay. Just looking up here. Put your bum there.
Yep.
Yeah. And then, just...
Oh, this is warm, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Maybe just change that leg position, just bring that leg down. Yeah. Nice and relaxed there, yeah. Just looking off this direction. Yeah. Just change the kind of hand position there a bit. Yeah, nice and relaxed. Cool. Change the hand position again.
I'm just like, not
That's it. That's cool. Love it. Gorgeous. Looking right here.
Yeah, I'm like...
Did you say your parents were from here?
They are, yeah.
Yeah.
My mum's definitely an ocean person, or sea person, definitely. My dad, not so much. And she just came to India with me, actually.
Oh, did she? Oh, that's nice.
But yeah, always, my mum would always take me down the beach, so from like a really early age.
So it really kind of like stemmed from your mum then, the time in the ocean?
Yeah, I would say. I mean, and actually she dives as well, but I taught her to dive.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, she's even in my dive club.
Is she?
Yeah, which is pretty cool.
Oh, that's amazing. So your earliest memories then were coming down the beach with your mum?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, she'd chuck everybody in the car, like even the kids on the same estate as me, and take us all down the beach. So yeah, it was nice. And yes, I grew up basically on the beach, even just swimming in the sea, you know, stuff like that, bodyboarding.
Yeah.
And then as time went on, it just got more and more, and yeah, more activities in the sea.
And which part of the island did you used to come to?
I used to go to St Bernard's Beach, actually.
Okay.
Didn't live anywhere near St Bernard's, but yeah, that was the beach. I think back in that day, that was like the beach to be, wasn't it? Like splashing around.
It's nice having those memories. Where's your coat?
Oh, it's on the wall over there near your bag, I think.
Oh,
yeah,
there.
maybe.
Is it?
Yeah. I hope so. It's got all my keys. I am that kind of person though that would just leave my stuff.
Oh no, it's there. Look.
Oh, thanks, Matt.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking, I'm sure you've taken it off at another time.
Oh, there you go. That's the hardest thing I find about my business, that I am completely scatty. Thank you.
You're completely what?
Scatty. And I'm like, yeah, trying to organise things.
We all have our strengths though, don't we? What's your biggest strength?
No, do you know what? Actually, in my business, I'm really organised. If somebody asked me where, you know, a piece of paper was from about 15 years ago, I could probably find it. Ask me where my phone is and my car keys, I haven't got a clue. So yeah, I'm completely different, I suppose, when it comes to the business to, yeah, my personal belongings and organisation. Like time-wise, I can get the tides to the minute. You know, the divers are on the boat, they're down, everything's super organised. If I have to meet somebody for a drink or a coffee, I can't be on time. I'm late, early, in the wrong place, but everything seems to work well when I'm organising the business.
It all levels
Maybe I
itself
put all
out.
my energy, into that.
Super organised and scatty. That works.
Yeah, good balance.
And is your team always changing?
So yes and no. We've had a lot of the local instructors have stayed the same. So Adam, my main instructor, he's been here for as long as I have, teaching. A couple of the part-time instructors like Grace and other people who live locally, but full-time staff apart from me and Adam are changing, because it's really hard industry to be in. If they're seasonal staff, it's really hard for them to live on a wage of a diving instructor and such a short year, because it's such a short season. So then we bring some instructors over. Right. So we actually have 2 new instructors starting this year from the UK. Okay. And then the rest will be the local team that have been down here for years. Okay. Yeah.
How long is the season then?
So it does vary, to be honest. I mean, sometimes the season is really from May, I suppose, kicking in, and it'll finish in September. Yeah. But we've had longer seasons where they finished in December. Okay. And we've got the dive club, so they're a little bit hardy. You know, they'll still go in they'll go in without me because I'm not hardy. They'll go in December, like snorkel trails and things like that, where the visibility starts to get better, the wind kind of dies off. That would generally be May till September.
Okay. Yeah, that is short.
It's
window,
very short. Yeah. So we're really busy in the summer. Okay. Working sort of in the day, evenings.
It's good for your travel schedule, though.
Yeah, definitely good.
You get loads of time out. Yeah. I'm going to take that. I just want to get like a nice shot just for the whole bay here. Yeah. So you can keep your jacket on or take it off. It's up to you.
I can keep it on.
But we'll just walk down. If you walk down to the ocean there. Yeah. Yeah.
And just face the sea. Yeah.
I'll collect that in a minute.
What's that? I'm so deaf.
No, that was it. And then looking back. Okay, they're walking towards me. Let me know if I'm going to trip over a boulder and fall over back.
Yeah, be careful.
Okay. Love it.
Cool.
Okay, yeah, keep walking up. Yeah. Amazing.
Cool, thanks. I absolutely hate photos.
Okay, well you did really good.